Welcome to the Know Your Score Round 12 Waffle Wrap, and thanks to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for their support for the weekend. We had 3 games in the city and 1 in the bush this weekend. East Perth hosted the Bulldogs at Medibank Stadium, and the Royals got off to a great start early as Tunbridge slotted his first of 4 majors for the day. However, South stuck with the Royals early to keep the margin to 10 points at quarter time after this great running goal by Hayden Sloyth. In the second, the Royals extended their lead to 5 and by 3/4 time held a comfortable 40-point advantage. In the end, the Royals were too strong, running out winners by 61 points. East Perth veteran Craig Wolfe was among his side's best with 27 disposals, 12 marks and 2 goals. At our other local fixture up at Arena Joondalup, West Perth hosted East Fremantle, which shaped as an important match for both sides leading into the second half of the season. A tight first quarter saw West Perth take a 1-point lead into quarter time after this ripper from the boundary line from Aaron Black. West Perth hit the scoreboard early in the second, however the Sharks got one back through Jaden Schofield. Aaron Black kicked another great goal from the boundary line just before half-time as West Perth held onto a 2-goal lead at the main break. The trend of goals from the boundary line continued in the third as Brown hit the scoreboard, but after a late fight back from the Sharks, the match was all tied up at 3/4 time. With a 3-2 last term, the Sharks consolidated their spot in the 4 with a gutsy 9-point win. Down at Bendigo Bank, we had Peel Thunder chasing their second win for the season against Swan Districts. It was a tight and hard-fought first quarter by both sides, and we saw Kirk Ugle get some great hang time with this specky. However, only Peel managed a goal in the first quarter as the Swans kicked 9 points to start the game. In the second, Swan Districts managed 2 goals after this fancy footwork from Tim Gapin, and both teams went into the main break tied at 22 apiece. Swans managed to get a run on in the third, kicking 4 goals to 2 and kept Peel scoreless in the last quarter as they ran out winners by 41 points. Then in our second country sports enrichment fixture of the year, we headed off up to Sir Richard Moore Oval in Kalgoorlie, between Perth and Subiaco. The Lions headed to Kalgoorlie early and visited some of the schools in the goldfields before getting out and running some clinics. It was a busy pre-game lead-up with the local junior footy teams. We caught up with Jim Creedon from the Goldfields Footy League and asked what it meant to have the Waffle come to Kalgoorlie.
It's fantastic to have a waffle game in Kalgoorlie. It means so much for the country kids that don't often get to see these footballers live, and they really enjoy it.
The game saw Subiaco get out to an early lead with a few goals on the trot, including this one from George Hampson before Perth steadied and by quarter time brought the margin back to 14 points. In a high-scoring second quarter, Perth managed to stay with the running Lions and showed some impressive ball movement to trail by just 9 points at the main break. In the third quarter, Subiaco hit the scoreboard and extended their lead. However, Paul Bevan made a few heads turn in Brazil with this absolute ripper from the pocket. In the end, Subi were too strong in front of their regional fans and got home after Hampson slotted his 4th for the match. We were lucky enough to get inside the Subiaco rooms as the boys sung their team song. We'll have a quick look at the round 12 match review panel and tribunal results. The match review panel offered a reprimand to Paul Bevan for rough conduct, which he accepted, and at last night's tribunal, Chris Billings from Perth received a 1-match penalty for rough conduct. Having a look at some of the great individual performances over round 12, our AAMI WAFL Player of the Week, this week's winner is Matt Riggio from Swan Districts, who amassed 34 disposals along with 9 marks and a goal. And our Powerade Colts Young Gun, this week we've awarded it to West Perth's James Sheehan-Nell for his performance against East Fremantle, where he had 23 disposals and kicked 3 goals. Right, this weekend's fixtures are shaping really importantly. We kick off at the Showgrounds with Claremont versus East Perth. All games being played Saturday. The league game at 2:05. Down at Bendigo Bank Stadium, Peel Thunder hosts Perth. Both teams desperate for a win. Fremantle Oval, South Fremantle versus Swan Districts. South Fremantle and Paul Hazel will also be desperate for a win in that game. And probably our match of the round, top 4 teams, Subiaco taking on East Fremantle at Medibank Stadium, bounce down 205. We continue to get some fantastic entries in our Waffle Selfies competition and our Facebook page, and we encourage you to keep sending in your picks to win the ultimate Waffle Grand Final experience. This week's winner is Matt Kerr, with his photo of his daughter after her face painting at Lathlane Park, and we hope to see you all out at the footy this weekend.